Hi, Skarsgård with Cinema Magazine. Stephen King's movie It is about to hit theaters, and part of the essence of that movie is the character of Pennywise. He is portrayed in the movie by Bill Skarsgård. Congratulations. Talk a little bit about, because people have an association of clowns, and why do we start to fear them?
I don't know. I think partially because of Stephen King. I think he sort of changed the collective idea of what a clown is, and the fact that it could be. I think kids were always a little bit afraid of clowns. It's this kind of the paradox of them trying to entertain kids, and they're trying, and there's something about a man with makeup on that's unsettling. I think it's what the core is, right? Like, you don't see who's behind the friendly makeup. But
speaking of makeup, I mean, you actually had to go through a process. What does that do for you? How long did it take? And when you saw yourself in the mirror, did the character come out when you see what it's going to look like?
Oh yeah. The preparation for the character was very abstract before the makeup, because I had all these ideas, but I didn't know what he was actually going to look like. And then when we had the makeup tests, every stage of the way, I saw sort of the character coming through and what he would look like. So the first time I got the makeup on, I had abstract ideas of what would work and what could look cool and how the face would react to it. And the first time I actually had it on, I just kind of spent as much time as I could in the mirror, just doing different faces and seeing how the character would look and what worked and what didn't work, and it was a completely unique experience.
And obviously, too, when you see this movie, you'll understand that Pennywise is really a tormentor for these kids. And so much of our childhood is kind of made up of those moments of we see a scary movie or we see a scary TV series.
Yeah.
So going back to your childhood, who tormented you? What images did you see that kind of had those effects?
I remember. So I have a lot of older brothers. So my older brother Gustav, he's 10 years older than me, and I would always try to sneak into his room and hang out in his room. And at times he allowed it, and it was amazing. It was like the best time ever to be able to hang out with your older brother. But he would also show me movies that I might be too young to see and too young to watch. And I remember Jurassic Park, and I think I was like 4 or 5. The movie just came out, and he had it on a VHS, and we watched it, and I got scared. And my parents, they really blamed Gustav for like, what do you think? And he's 4 years old, and Gustav was 14, and we were buddies, we were hanging out. But I do remember I had a dream afterwards watching that film of me lying in bed in my room, and I would wake up, and I looked out of the window, and there's a T-Rex head outside of the window looking at me. I remember that dream to this day, and I think sort of a theme of the book and the movie. It's the kids kind of in the novel more so they see Frankenstein and the werewolf and like all these things in films, and then that is kind of what the kid thinks is scary. So it would take shapes as the Mummy and all these kind of old 50s monsters. And I think there's truth to that, because surely it happened to me with the T-Rex.
Just one last quick question. If you had the opportunity to meet Stephen King, what one question would you want to ask him about?
Oh my God, I think I would have so many questions. He's kind of, I think, I've gotten 2 jobs thanks to him in a row. So I would first and foremost thank him for creating these wonderful stories, and just it's a very humbling thing to work on someone's he's such a great mind, and I think he's probably the most impactful writer that we have today. If you look at his body of work and how it's, like I said, collectively changed the idea of how we view clowns forever. I mean, it's insane. I don't know. Like, I would have a lot of questions for him for sure. I hope I meet him.
So obviously, he's not scary. He is a real nice guy. Bill, thank you so much.
Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
This is Scott Orwell. Until
Take
next
care.
time.